Welcome to COIS3750, Principles of Online Marketing. This is Chapter 6 of Mastering Online Marketing. Clearly, no study on internet marketing can ignore search engines. Whenever someone searches for a keyword, the search engine looks at its index database and it provides a list of results. Those pages are presented in the search engine results pages, the SERPs, with only 10 links visible on the first page, 10 more on the second page, and so forth. Obviously, getting into the top couple spots, and certainly on the first page, is crucially important. The first and second spot are going to be a whole lot more profitable for any business than any other spot. Think about your own habits and how seldom you would go to the second page of internet search engine results. I think you'd find that that's not very often at all. So search engine optimization is about making your pages rank as high as possible on the search results page. Search engine advertisements, on the other hand, are paid or sponsored, and we'll discuss those a little later on. But search engine optimization for the last 10 or more years has been the art and science of getting pages ranked. The rank of a web page is assessed by two things: its relevance and its authority. Relevance is assessed by how well the content matches the search phrase, and authority is a measure of how important and trustworthy the search engine thinks your page and website are in other ways. From an SEO point of view, relevance has been addressed by modifying or optimizing the page itself. This includes things like the occurrences of the search phrase and related search phrases, or synonyms to the search phrase. It also includes the amount of text and images, the readability of the page. Authority, on the other hand, can depend on the number of links to your web page from other websites, how old the domain name is, the number of visits to your website, its bounce rate, and the average visit duration, how fast the web server is, and how often your website is mentioned on social media. Let's discuss the history of SEO. In the early days, search engines didn't do a whole lot more than simply count the number of occurrences of a search word or a search phrase on a web page. So this led SEO specialists at the time to put more and more occurrences of the word on the page. This is known as keyword stuffing. Sometimes they would even put it on the page, but in white text on a white background so that the user couldn't see it, but the search engine would crawl and pick it up. Of course, search engines are a whole lot more sophisticated now, and doing something like this will result in a punishment in your ranking from Google or whichever search engine. So to serve their users better and to fight on-page SEO tricks, search engines started to measure the authority of web pages. They can do that by, for instance, counting the number of other websites linking to it. So the next evolution of black hat SEO tricks was to create a large number of fake websites, and the sole purpose of those websites was to add links back to the real web page to try and improve the authority. Of course, that too was discovered, and search engines retaliated by now measuring the quality of the linking websites before using them as a reference, and punishing websites that seem to be using link farms or fake links. So this sort of back and forth with where the SEO tried to exploit weaknesses in the algorithm of the search engines for their own ranking gain has gone back and forth for years. However, at this point, Google is very good at ranking websites and measuring to make sure that these sort of tricks aren't available. The recommendation of the author is simply to write good content, and the search engines will notice your websites. There are a couple considerations though, and we're going to discuss them in relevance and authority. From the relevance perspective, adding new high-quality content regularly is important. An active website with regular updates is going to rank better than a website that has not been updated in years. A blog comes to mind. Search engines can only index text. A web page that's full of photos or other graphics, Flash, those sorts of things, is not going to rank well from the SEO point of view. Make sure that each page has a reasonable amount of relevant text content if you want the search engines to rank it. The more the better, as long as it's relevant to the topic at hand. Also notice that search engines nowadays consider the readability of your text. The readability of your text can be measured using the Flesch reading score. A score under 30 is best understood by university graduates, while a score in the range of 60 to 70 is generally understood by 13 to 15-year-olds. Try and keep readability at 75 or above to keep search engines and your audience happy. You can test the readability of your web pages using the tool readability-score.com. Don't follow the process of keyword stuffing, but to increase the relevance, you need to add the most relevant keywords to the following areas: the page title, the page URL, the page meta description, the page heading, and a couple of times in the page body. The page title, URL, and meta description are visible in the Google search results and have been discussed in another chapter. We have also previously discussed not having an obscure URL, but rather having a friendly, readable URL so that it makes more sense to the indexer. So SEO nowadays isn't about trying to outsmart search engines, but rather to offer content of real value. We do need to perform the analysis and understand what search keywords we want to optimize for. We want to spend our time and our efforts optimizing web pages for search keywords that are relevant to our offering, that bring traffic that's interested in purchasing our service or buying our product. We don't want to optimize our web pages for a bunch of meaningless, high volume search phrases that won't bring us any commercial value. And we don't want to compete for traffic against huge global corporations that may have a lock on certain specific keywords where we're simply not going to be successful. The book uses the example that you're probably not going to beat out Adidas and Reebok for sports shoes, no matter how well you optimize your page. However, if you find that the competition is too tough for short-tailed keywords like sports shoes, perhaps you can go for something a little longer, like sports shoes for marathon running or long-distance running sports shoes, which are likely to have less competition than the core phrase sports shoes. Authority. To build authority, you need to get as many good and relevant websites to link back to your page. This is accomplished with high-quality content over a period of time. Remember, getting links from high-quality websites is of way more value than getting a lot of links from low-quality websites, as websites are not all considered equally. It's not advisable to buy links from link farms, nor is it advisable just to swap a bunch of links with other websites, meaning you put their link on your website and they put yours on theirs. Google's likely to notice those things. However, what you can do is get some initial links seeded by putting your links on your YouTube, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, other social media platforms, and include links to your website in every social media post that you publish. One approach is to use unprotected digital assets as link bait. If you promote ebooks or other digital content for free, it's likely that other web pages will start to recommend your valuable document by linking to it from their web pages or from their blog posts. Another way to build links is to distribute press releases using PR sites like PR Web and PR Newswire. They promote your link bait if you have no other news to share. Press releases can spiral off and be published on a large number of media and blog sites, quickly creating a whole bunch of inbound links. Search engine algorithms are refined all the time. Not too long ago, there was a major change known as Mobilegeddon. Google cracked down on websites that were not adapted for mobile users, given that mobile searches outnumber the number of desktop searches that are being done these days. So if your website was not responsive and configured for mobile use, then your page rank would suffer. We can always expect that SEO is going to be a moving target as the algorithms get changed and improved and modified. So too will the SEO that is required in order to keep your pages ranking well. Search engine optimization is all about getting traffic for free organically from the search engine. Search engine advertising is about paying per click. Google has AdWords, which is a very effective pay-per-click traffic generating option. With Google AdWords, you choose search phrases just like you would optimize your pages in SEO, but you simply bid the amount that you're willing to pay per click to get targeted traffic on those key search terms. You can monitor your campaign by the amount of spend per month, the amount of spend per keyword. You can bid higher or lower for keywords depending on how much traffic you want or how much you can afford. The Google AdWords results appear at the top of the search engine, and you've seen them whether you've paid attention to them or not. They're the search results that have the little square ad emblem beside them. So those results from the search that you've performed are sitting above the organically SEO-driven keyword results in Google itself. That's one of the ways that Google is able to make money from its search engine. Before writing web pages or blog articles, or even your digital assets like ebooks or white papers, you can research to see how popular different topics are on the internet. You can do this using search keyword analysis. This helps you to write content that targets what most readers are interested in, and it keeps you from fighting against tough competition in organic search results or paid search engine advertisements. In short, what you want to do is create content that covers the topics and keywords most people seem to be interested in. However, more web pages may write about these topics containing one search keyword than they do about topics containing another search keyword. So it makes it harder or easier for you to succeed in achieving good ranking in the search engine results pages. In a search keyword analysis tool, you enter all combinations of relevant search phrases and find out which ones are most likely to give you the best ROI. You'll likely get 100 or more combinations of keyword phrases in your list and submit that to the tool for analysis. For you to get organic traffic from search engines, people will have to find you on the search results pages of Google, and ideally your pages should be in the top 3 positions on the first page. So because the competition is going to be stiff in a lot of areas, you're going to probably not be able to successfully compete on short-tailed keywords like red wine, but rather you'll have to go to longer-tailed keywords in order to get a good ranking. An example of a longer-tailed keyword might be red wine for cheese or chocolate. There are many tools that exist to do search keyword research. They can usually provide suggestions, and they can provide statistical data on how popular various search keywords are and how difficult it is to do based on the competition. Display advertising is known as banner ad advertising, and banners can be placed on various websites. Typically, it's a cost per click or a cost per impression model that you pay to use these. Banner ads have some sort of a call to action typically on them, a click here or something like that. They're often flashy and eye-catching. They used to be a real novel thing on the internet and would get an awful lot of clicks, Now you ignore them. I guarantee that there are way more banner ads on web pages than you're currently aware of. I used to be in the business of making banner ads. In fact, all these ads on this page are banner ads that either myself or my wife created. It was a lot of fun to be in the business, and they were very successful at one point in time. We still have existing clients that we do a little bit of advertising for, but typically not that many people are investing in banner ads these days. Retargeting, which is also sometimes called remarketing, is relatively new as a concept. Essentially, your advertisements chase your previous website visitors around the internet when they are visiting unrelated websites. In other words, visitors that have come through your website continue to see your ads on other websites after they've left your site. This is implemented using a tracking cookie, which allows an advertisement broker to know if a visitor to some other website has previously visited yours. If they have, then your ad is going to be displayed on the other unrelated website. Google offers retargeted advertisement services, but they call it remarketing. Static remarketing means that your ad can be shown to people who previously visited your site and have moved on to other ones. Dynamic remarketing means that different advertisement designs, maybe promoting different product models, can be shown depending on what pages a visitor has viewed on your website. So using retargeting, your ads will follow previous website visitors around the internet, therefore reminding them that they had previously visited your website. While this keeps your website at top of mind, sometimes this can feel very aggressive to the person that is being targeted with those ads. What happens if the visitor purchases your product? Well, in this situation, you don't want to continue paying for retargeted advertisements. You also don't want to upset your new customer. The trick is to use what is called a burn pixel. As soon as your website has detected that this visitor is now a customer, a JavaScript code snippet, the burn pixel, placed in your post-transaction logic will untag the user from further retargeted advertisements. Thank you. That's the end of this lecture.